Welcome everyone to another one of my Blender tutorials. And I guess it's been maybe about a week ago I did a tutorial on using multiple scenes in Blender. And at the time I didn't realize that there's a trick to adding your scenes to your video sequence editor, and you can edit them. You can render them all out at once. Beforehand, I'd render each one individually as a AV or a series of PNGs. But anyway, I want to show you a time-saving trip and a time-saving technique, and so you can. I got a colleague of mine on a Blender Stack Exchange. I posed a question and he sent me an example, and at first I didn't really quite get it, but then I sit down and experiment with myself, and sure enough, you can just go build your scenes, especially for video pre-rolls in this case, and it's real simple to do. And so we'll get started and I'll show you how to do it. So first of all, I'm going to grab my camera here, and we're looking down the y-axis. So we're going to hit X to 0, Z to 0, and then we're going to pull our camera back, say -5 Blender units, like that. And then we're going to hit Alt-R to reset it, and then do RX and 0. So now we're looking straight down the y-axis there, and this is a front ortho view. We're going to go to our top view and add some text, and also let's go ahead and make this orthographic. Now we go to our top view. We don't need this light. You can delete it, or you can take it if you like and move it to the another layer. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, we're going to get our 3D cursor right here in front of the camera, and we're going to use our fictitious film studio, but we're going to render 3 different scenes and do a little animation. And what I'm going to do is we'll copy the scene, and it will carry the animation with it, and you just go in and change your text. So Shift A, and we're going to add some text here. You know, so I'm kind of lazy and I just use the default font. So, but you know, you can dig in and go in the Windows folder and get one of the fonts that's locally stored on your computer. So anyway, we're going to make this Vector Studios, like so. And then hit Tab, and we're gonna rotate this 90 degrees about the X, RX tiny. And now I think what it is, it's a little bit above the camera. Where is it? Okay, so we're back. So we're gonna have to get this to 0 and that to 0, and 0, enter. And now we hit 0 and go to our camera view. So, and also discovered something else now, which is really neat when it comes to the cameras, is you have the composition grid. And I've known about this in the arts. It's the golden ratio and the little lines there, and it's the most pleasing view, or it breaks down the view into the according to the golden ratio. So we're going to get our text there, and we're going to get it right there in the middle. And that's over here. You've got this. Where is it? It's under the camera, and you can go down here to composition grid, and I'm using the golden. They got a couple more that you can use. I think I turned it off there, and now it's back on. So anyway, we're going to get our camera view temporarily, and we're going to go to 1. I'm going to rotate around here. I want to attach, I want to parent this text to an empty. We go over here, and you see the plane axis. And what I want to do is, let's turn this around a little bit. Make sure I got my, okay, it's not backwards. Anyway, look at it like this, and bring this down just a tad. Now when you parent something, especially to an empty or a bone or another object, you always select the child first. So the child is going to be the text. You hold down the shift key and there, like that. And now you get Control P. And it'll say object. Now if you look over here in your outliner, you see that the empty is on top and the text is the child of the empty, although you can move them individually. But we're going to use that empty to do a rotation for the text. So I'm going to go ahead and set my color to the text. I'm going to use this emission red. It's right here. And we're going to set our world to black here. And while we're in here, since this is going to be a pre-roll or title for a movie, set to 30 frames a second. Alright, so now we'll go back to our camera view, do a little test here. That's so we're going to call this scene Vector Studios. And now what we're going to do is, as you can see, that's the new scene. We're going to go to this little plus arrow. We're going to do a full copy. And we're going to call this Presents. Okay, so now we're in the Presents, and the camera's got a 1 and everything's got a 1 attached to it because they're new objects. But anyway, we're going to get out of this for a bit and hit tab, and we're going to just edit this and say well, actually I could have saved myself a few steps here, but I didn't do it. But anyway, we'll do the animation. Looks like we'll have to individually animate each scene. So yeah, I forgot about that. But anyway, I should have did the animation first and then copied it all, and then they'd all be animated the same way. But we can go back and fix that. So we're just going to go ahead and make our next scene here. Full copy, and we're going to change that to the vector movie for the scene. And then make sure we're in the vector movie layer, go down to our text, and our text is chosen, hit tab, and we'll put the title of the vector movie, like so. Now the text is a little bit outside the square. We can either go into the camera, but at this point we'll just resize it. Oh, looks like I need to go in and add an E to that. Oh, now, so it fits right there. It's right there, and we copied it so the material's the same. If well, actually it's not. So I should have copied everything. I should have set it all up in the first scene, but we'll go back and okay, I do have the same material. I just didn't hit rendered. Okay, they're all the text. Okay, yeah, all the text is red. So okay, so we got our 3 scenes set up, and like I said, if I would have did the animation for all this animation in first, I could have saved a little bit of time. But that's just a tip in the future. Like I say, all the animations are going to be identical anyway. So we'll go out of here for a minute, and we're going to rotate our empty about the x-axis. And let's see, I believe it's 90 degrees positive. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's what we want. But first we want to make each one of these 30 frames long, and we're at frame 1. And we're at 90 degrees, so we're going to hit I in the rotation. And now we go down to our other scene, or you can go over here. We'll go to the second scene here. And all these should be 30. That's when you copy the full scene, that would have saved us a step. But anyway, yeah, to make the initial one 30 and then do the full copy. Okay, so let's see, we got to make the first frame for this one 0 degrees. Oh, wrong rotation. We're going to rotate the empty. And empty, we want to rotate it 90 degrees. Now, like that. Now, first, we want to do the first frame. Keyframe that. Then go to the 30th frame. Then hit 90. And hit I. Let me make sure I did it right on this first one, because I got a little bit of it lost. So let's go to the Vector Studios one. Okay, I didn't keyframe that one properly. Got to make that 30. So I kind of messed up on this one, but we'll fix it. We'll fix it. We want to keyframe the. That's already at 0, so hit Enter and I. And then go to the 30th frame and make it 90 and hit I. Okay. So, I got it keyframed the wrong way. Alright, we got to do. I got it backwards. And then just hit I and that will refresh it. Or reset it. I got to do them all the way. And hit I. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to delete these other two scenes, so I can show you how to save yourself some time. We got our first scene. I'm going to delete this one. I choose it first and then delete up. Delete that. Delete presents. So now we got our first scene here. Now we're rotating down. So now what we do is hit the plus sign, full copy, and this one's going to be presents, and then full copy again, the vector movie. So now all we have to do is go to the second scene, which is presents, select text, go to edit mode, so now go to the third scene. This is going to be the vector movie. Select the text tab. The vector movie. Yep. And it's a little big, so we can either do the. We're just going to resize the text a little bit. Have it right in the middle there. So now we've got 3 scenes, and they're all identical. We'll run through them real quick just to check. Vector Studios, and I'll do the material preview. And actually you can change the viewport on this. You could have different colors. So Vector Studios and presents, okay. And then we have the Vector Movie. Okay, so we'll save this just in case. Actually, you can save this as a template. And if you're just doing, you're going to change the text on it, we'll save this as multi-scene demo, like so. So we got it saved. So now here's the part I figured out. So we go to the video editor, and we're going to have 3 of these scenes. So this is going to be a total animation of 90 frames. And then you go down here and you add your scenes. I'm going to say Vector Studios. Uh-oh, what? Wait a minute, I got to back up here. We got to delete that. It doesn't work this way. You got to do it as 30. Yeah, this is a trick here. Add your scene, Vector Studios, then add your other scene, presents, and G key, move this over, that's right behind that one. And now add the Vector Movie, take a G key and then move it up, that's right behind this one. I haven't tested this yet, but something tells me you can go ahead and add your effect strips in here. But that's another tutorial altogether. Now, what you do is you say your title animation is 90 frames. So everything's set to 1. And actually, what you can get a rough preview of this. So there's our 3 scenes animating there. Now here's what you do. Okay, you go up here and you go to Properties. And make sure your frame rate's set 30 frames a second. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you can do a little thumbnail. We're going to go ahead and export this as a H.264, and we're going to give it a directory. Go here in our documents and create a new directory. MULTI multi-scene demo. And then we go find this multi-scene demo and say accept. You can actually put the name in there if you want. So what we're going to do is, so I can just preview this real quick. We're going to set this to compression of 20%. Now, it's on the first scene here. And you just leave it like that. And make sure you got your settings. You want your 30 frames per second. You might want to, I'm not going to boost the sampling up because this is just a rough. It's going to be a little bit rough looking. But if you watch, here's where it really helps here. So we can go right up to here and just say edit, and it will go through it. And this will be quick since we're not running it real big. And you notice it's like it's doing individual frames there initially, but then it catches the other 2 scenes and puts them right together. And so this is just a little thumbnail we're going to look just to make sure it works. And then we'll test play it back, and then we'll go to our directory and look and see if it put it in there and all that other good stuff. So there you go. Now let's see. So here we go. There it is. It took all 3 scenes, and you just had to do just a few little tricks. You have to, you know. Anyway, you can. Thanks for watching the video, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please subscribe and put them in the comments section, and we'll go here to the directory and see. There's our AV right there, and we just put all 3 of those things together. So thanks for watching. And I am out of here, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.